in the nation.
Jurors put aside any of their partisanship or politics and listened to the evidence and returned, in my state, fair and just verdicts.
Speaking on CNN State of the Union, Christie says despite being a prosecutor in a blue state, he won 130 political corruption cases without a defeat in 7 years. He says he believes in the American people and that jurors will listen fairly and impartially. Trump, who was indicted on federal charges Thursday, says he wants the trial moved to West Virginia. Former President Trump's legal team has until the end of the day today to respond to special counsel Jack Smith's motion for a protective order. Smith filed that motion Friday after Trump posted on Truth Social, "If you go after me, I'm coming after you." Trump pleaded not guilty Thursday to criminal charges connected to his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Smith wrote in his filing that public posts by the former president about the case could have a harmful, chilling effect on witnesses. A new study says it's better to think you had a good night's sleep. Bree Tennis explains.
The American Psychological Association did a study on sleep goals and actual sleep. They had volunteers keep sleep journals and then made them sleep with wires attached to them, monitoring just how good that sleep was. Turns out, if you think you slept well, your mood will be positive and elevated, even if science proves you didn't sleep at all.
President Biden headed out west this week. He'll visit the key battleground state of Arizona to talk up his economic policies. He'll also travel to New Mexico and Utah. The opening bell rings this morning after markets closed in the red Friday. At the closing bell, the Dow lost 150, the S&P 500 sank 24, and the NASDAQ was down 50. Brad Siegel, NBC News Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning to you, and it is Coffee Ann time on ON Radio. It's Monday morning, it's August 7th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan. Dave Richards is here with us. Hello there, Dave.
Oh, hi there. Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody. Lovely day.
Thanks to Dave for taking over the reins last week here in the Coffee Ann program.
But it didn't rain that much on Friday.
Oh, like horse rains, you know?
Oh, I see. Those kind of rains.
You were driving the bus last week.
Okay, yes, I guess I was.
And we're expecting Governor Dan McKee to join us on the phone this morning. He has not called in yet, although I do see the light lighting up. That could be him right there.
That could
Melissa
be him.
Murray is going to be joining us around 8:30 on Coffee Ann as well. So we look forward to that. So
It's going to be a good show. Lots of lively conversation, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we had a lot of interesting discussion. Sure, this week we can do even better. I mean,
we'll
you got to
give
be
it our
doing
best
pretty
shot.
good if you're starting off with a governor, for Pete's sake. You know, you got to have a few things going for you.
All right, the governor is on the line. Should we
good.
say hi to him?
Well, yes. Let's put him on the radio and say hello.
All right, there. And good morning
Ladies
to you,
and gentlemen,
Governor.
His Excellency, the Governor of the great state of Rhode Island, Dan McKee.
Hey, hi, Dave.
Hi, Dan. How you doing?
Nice to have you with us this morning, Governor. You doing okay?
Yes, I am.
All right.
It's going to be another good week and more things to get done, but more things to enjoy. I was at the Jazz Festival this weekend. It was great down in Newport.
Down in Newport, yeah.
Yeah, just right now they tell me that on Bay Day, on the Governor's Bay Day, you got a sunburn. Is there any truth to that rumor, or can you bust this
I don't
one?
think I got I got a nice tan, I think.
Okay,
All right. There you go.
So
No
the rumors of a sunburn were greatly exaggerated.
Yes. I had a great lobster sandwich down there at Scarborough and Adele's lemonade. It was good.
See, he's a true Rhode Islander.
There you
can
go.
have Dale's lemonade. And did you make it down to Charlestown for their that seafood festival down as well?
I did, and they were honoring, giving some honor to Christopher, right? Who who passed in the last year, and then I walked the midway there, and again, we got a lot to be very happy about with our food. I had some oysters, and I had a lobster grilled cheese sandwich. It was very good.
Lobster grilled cheese sandwich? Wow.
Yeah.
Sure,
And,
they put chunks of it in with the grilled cheese. Yeah. and grill it.
And then,
Now, Dan,
Dan.
it must be different being the governor and going to these places you've been before. I mean, do you have to take the entourage along with you? Is it like those are the rules for the governor and stuff like that? It's got to be different than we just going, say, like to the Holy Trinity Carnival and holding hands with your wife.
Well, I can't pick and choose, but I'm thankful for to have the troopers with us, and there's times when we need them, and there's, they help me get around, so we're proud of our state troopers. But also, like yesterday, I was out and about by myself, having dinner down in Barrington. What's the name of the place? I'm going to forget the place, but it was great, right on the water, with my son and daughter-in-law, and our new grandchild, Mabel Jane.
Nice.
So there was no detail there. I was just, just
That's great.
regular Dan, walking around and having a good time.
That's great.
Before you ask about the budget coming up, Governor, if you want to make any kind of thoughts on, because we had the news over the weekend that CVS is going to lay off 5,000 people. Anything you want to say about that?
We've had contact with them, with the management. We have not heard how that is going to impact Rhode Island yet, because that's a national layoff.
Sure.
Right. Yeah.
And so
plus they just bought a couple of billion-dollar companies too. Quite frankly, I've lost track of how many employees they have. So 5,000. The last time I knew,
it's over 100,000.
Right, it would be a rather small percentage of the workforce. But the thing is, 5,000 is still a lot of souls. Mm-hmm. And the rumors I'm hearing here that have not been confirmed by the company is that most of them would be at headquarters, certainly not out in the field. They did say that they were not laying off customer-facing people,
right.
which mean the ones you see at the cashiers at the stores and things like that. So this would be people in probably in headquarters, which is here in Woonsocket, which brings it up as a sub. And you haven't heard anything more than we have you?
No, just we have had contact. We know that that's the number. It's nationwide, and our DLT with Matt Weldon. If there are people who are displaced out of the workforce, we're ready. We're ready to help them out, and there's options out there right now. We're in a good spot, David, right, with unemployment being historically low, under 3%. So there's jobs still available for people who are looking for work in Rhode Island, and we're trying to make sure they get plugged into those opportunities.
Great. Now, Dan, your staff, when they contacted me, said that you wanted to talk about the budget, and I said, well, it's already been passed. They said, yes, but, there's... Now that the budget is there, how about let's talk about the good things and the bad things and the budget and everything? I said, well, I think whatever Dan wants to talk about is good with me. But what was it that you wanted to get across to the public this morning with regards to the budget?
So there's just a few things, but we can continue to talk about clam cakes and chowder if you want, Dave. I'm happy to do that. No, I think that one of the things that's happening now is that we're going to get the impact of that budget, right? In the business community, since I've been in office, right, there's no sales tax permit fee any longer. There's no car tax. Now, with that, we were able to continue to provide that tax relief for businesses and residents. No tangible tax, so to speak, of for most businesses in the state of Rhode Island right now, which is a big deal as well. This year, we got rid of the litter tax for the restaurants and the hospitality, so they're saving several $100s and not having to go through the aggravation of filling out the application. And, it's just kind of like a recap of what we're trying to get done. I do believe in the last 2+ years, 3+ budgets, that we provided more tax relief in that 3-year time frame without raising any taxes in recent memory, if not ever. So that's really important. Now we're starting to plug in the dollars that we've appropriated that are going to make a big difference. Mayor Baldelli Hunt spoke at the State House last week in front of 25 different municipal leaders, and we're starting to release $20 million towards road improvements.
Mm-hmm.
And
had that story on this morning here, yeah.
that's big. So that you're leveraging it on $2 to $1. State puts in $1. City and town puts $2. That's going to give us. We'll have more than $60 million of road improvements that are going to happen in the state on the local roads in the next 18 to 20 months. So this is you pass the budget. That's not a big deal, but then it becomes a big deal as you start distributing these dollars. So those are really important issues. And the other one is with the education, which I've been very interested in. We've set a goal to meet or exceed Massachusetts levels by 2030. Since we set that goal in the state of the state and then announced it on April 12th, Newport signed a compact as the first municipality. Woonsocket now, with Mayor Bordelli Hunter, signed a compact to help us achieve those goals and add 1 million extra hours of learning time. We have just distributed the first $4 million to communities that have signed the compact. By the way, we're up to by the end of I think next week we'll be up to 33. Right now we have 31 of the 39. Over 93% of the state population is represented through the municipal leaders. So that's really, really fantastic. And now we're getting ready to distribute $80 million that I put in the budget over the last 2 years of federal dollars to help municipalities build out either retrofit current space or contribute into new space to build these learning centers I've been talking about for quite some time. And then the focus will be on learning, jobs, and health for a 5-year commitment. So that $80 million distributed throughout the compact communities will help and assist these communities helping with those goals.
Well, you're a remarkable man. You probably know this already, but I'll just say it in public. You're a remarkable man, Dan, because when you announced this initiative, I said to myself, my goodness, how is he going to convince communities to go for this thing? And it got off to a little bit of a slow start, but Woonsocket just went, okay, fine. And
we're going to give support, Dave. I mean, I've known that this is going to be good because I did it in Cumberland, right? And I do know that we're going to have direct contact with every household in the state of Rhode Island through their municipal leaders, because no one can do it like a municipal leader can. And remember, this effort is for every family. So in Woonsocket area, whether they're sending their kids to the district schools or Beacon or the Merrill Academy or Mount St. Charles, this is for every young person in the state to help them achieve their potential and the learning. And then we're going to have this learning. We're going to be going out very shortly and asking a statewide essay contest. What do you want to be learning about when you're not in school? And then we'll roll that right in there. But it's not just in municipalities, and I'm pretty excited about this. It's every university, both the public and private. When I meet, and we had a call last week to kind of bring everybody up to date with the communities that have signed on. President Palange, President Warner, President Hughes from CCRI, along with representation from all the presidents of the private universities are on board, and then the business community. And then we have set up now, and it's ready to go, the first nonprofit that will provide, guidance to all the municipalities over the next 5 years, and we're raising private money. Right now, our goal is $1 million a year, and Jerry Chiappetta now is executive director of that group. My wife Susan is the honorary chair of that group as a teacher. So it's an all-in strategy here, right? And the business community is getting involved too in different ways. So it's an all-in strategy. Our Boys and Girls Club. It's everybody in, but the next goal is we really need to be connecting in emotionally with every family, every household in the state of Rhode Island, so they really firmly believe that learning is a priority every day in their household.
Well, you certainly show it, and all through your career, regardless of which office you've been elected to, even when you weren't an elected office, you've been trying to improve the education of young people each step of the way. I see that. And now it looks like I didn't know how you're going to pull this off, but it looks like you've pulled this new initiative off as well. So congratulations, sir.
Well, it's going to be, and where we are next year, at this time, it'll be a different place than we are this year. I believe that it'll just grow, and we'll be beginning to start opening these learning centers. Some communities are just going to do it on the backside of the library like I did. Some communities will do it by building new. Some communities right now are talking about partnering in with the Boys and Girls Club. Right now, Mayor Bordelli has identified 2 or 3 nonprofits that she's going to work with, including the Y, including the Boys and Girls Club. So it is an all-in community effort. It'll take that too, Dave, right, for everybody to really put the effort in to help these young people in the state reach their potential. And Woonsocket, we're all in there. So that's really looking forward to working. And then I think that you're helping today. Thousands of people are hearing this maybe for the first time, and they'll start believing that this is going to happen. And then we'll find ways to help these young people learn what they want to be learning about, but all at the same time, pushing and helping them with their math and reading skills, which are so critical regardless of where they go. So those are the things in the budget that I think are really important: the education, the job issues, and then helping our small businesses. It is about time. I mean, you were trying to work with me, on small businesses, just helping our local radio stations out during that pandemic. That was one of the things that you partnered in with Chris down in Westerly to do that. So we need to continue to work to help our small businesses. But happy to hear what's on your list.
Well, Dan, we got to take a break here. Before we do, I don't mean to bag you with this if you didn't have it, the answer, but you got 6 more school systems that have not signed on to the initiative yet. Are any of them here in Northern Rhode Island?
No, I can't say they are. I think there's a couple down in South County, a couple of small districts. Johnston has not signed on, but Northern Rhode Island is in. And they'll all be in with different ways through their municipal leaders. They all have an idea how they can deliver it, and we're going to help them with that. So we really do need to make sure the Blackstone Valley gets its share, and we're happy to talk about some of the projects that are on the board that we've talked about before with the soccer in Pawtucket and other things like that when you come back.
Very good. Thanks. We're here with Governor Dan McKee, and Joe, take us to break, and we'll be right back.
All right. Comments and questions, especially for the governor, give us a call at 766-1240. We'll pass it along.
Dr. Jeffrey Dodge believes that good communication is important because it makes patients feel relaxed, reassured, so the visit can be a positive experience. It's important to listen to what patients have to say and to explain clearly what procedures or treatment is best. Dr. Dodge is a family dentist and welcomes children, adults, and senior citizens. And remember, it's important to take good care of your teeth at any age. Dr. Jeffrey Dodge, 1438 Park Avenue, Woonsocket. At Park Square, 762-3044.
Hi, this is Joanne Forcier Hebert, calling for all classmates of Woonsocket High School class of 1978. Come help us celebrate our 45th reunion at Bella's Restaurant in Glendale, Friday, September 15th from 5 to 10. Looking forward to sharing memories of our past and creating new ones. Please call Linda Barad Senical at 401-766-3134 for more information. We also have a Facebook page, Woonsocket High Class of 1978, to find out more information also. Hope to see you there.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England. Hey, it's Coffee and on ON, AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan along with Dave Richards. We're also being joined by State Senator Melissa Murray is here. Good morning to you, Melissa.
Good morning, everyone.
Dan,
good morning, Governor.
Melissa's on our staff here, and she was going to be on at 8:30. When she heard you were on, she came in early.
Well, I'm glad, and I mentioned the senator was the sponsor of that tangible tax
yeah.
on the Senate side, so that was great.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that, and
Thanks for signing it.
Yep, the business community. Yeah, we had a great event at Davenport's, and we had an initial kickoff at Kay's, and I think the business community is really really pleased about this. and very happy to help. And I appreciate your support very much, Governor.
Yeah, Senator. So the tangible, number of our businesses have fleets or vehicles. Now they're not paying tax on that. I mean, we got to keep on reminding what we've done and move the process, the budget, working with the General Assembly, good relationships with Senator Ruggiero. I think I got lunch with him this week. Speaker Stacacci, and then the membership, and you're leading on the charge on this business thing. We got more to come. We're working through some of those things next year. Working on helping some of the food trucks next year, and all the regulations, and continually chipping away every year with a half a dozen things in the budget. And having you on board is really helpful. In particular, the areas that you represent in Woonsocket. We know that having been a small business owner in Woonsocket all these years, I understand how important it is to give support to our small business community in Woonsocket.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I had a business on Main Street for a few years. Didn't quite make it to that 5-year mark. But, I gave it a good try. I don't think that'll be the last of my ventures, but I really understand how difficult it is. And that's why it was so important for us to help these businesses out collectively.
Dan? Yeah, Senator, just on the small businesses, you may have some people there. We've also rolled into the budget some really good things into our commerce budget to help our local businesses. Take It Outside is still there. There's a ventilation program that's there as well. We're just launching a heat pump program to kind of really move ahead on some of our climate change issues. The Act on Climate, $25 million into heat pumps in there, Senator. So that, and also some dollars to capitalize businesses to grow, and specifically into women-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses. There's also funding there. So those who are listening out there, that's the budget that I was talking about there. We've made some really incredible things with working with the General Assembly that now is going to really pay dividends as we move along for our economy. And we want to keep that unemployment low, and we want to be making sure that our economy is as strong as it can be, because that's how you get through any level of economic downturn. And the next thing that we're working on, and I'll get to your question, Dave, but the next thing we're working on, because you just heard how we're really lining up this Learn 365 RI, the next one we're working on is raising income. So the next 6 months, I'm going to be working on a real distinct strategy, community by community, to raise incomes in those communities across the board, every household. And hopefully by the state address, we'll be able to kind of clarify what that is, and then we'll do the same thing that we did with bringing the communities on this Learn 365 over the last few months. We'll do the same thing on raising income. But anyway, back to you. So I can continue to talk about this, but I know you got some local stuff.
Actually, the next question, Dan, was we know that you have one of the things that's in the news a lot here in Woonsocket is that there are vacancies at City Hall in director positions. Everything's still running and everything, but there are vacancies there. And I noticed that you've had some situations there in the state government where you get a chance to replace somebody. It seems like it's a lot more complicated to replace a state director. How many vacancies do you have there? What's the issue in trying to get people to take over these top positions?
Yeah, so we're doing really well right now on that, Dave. I mean, coming into office the way it transitioned in the middle of a pandemic and the business is down, and not having really your staff in place, and then also not being able to offer people a 4-year strategy, that was challenging. But right now, we just, in the last session, we had confirmation for a DCYF director that has actually been interim for 10 years. So Ashley Deckett is off the ground running, and we think that she's going to really do a good job. We got confirmation in 2 other areas. Rick Charest, who's a Woonsocket, Northern Rhode Island guy.
Oh, we know Rick Rill.
Now he just got confirmed as EOHS director. DHS, has got a permanent director now in the last session. So when you think about this being the first 6 months of a 4-year term, we've made tremendous progress in those positions. So I don't think that we have very many open directorships. We have some interims, but every department is running, pretty strong. We just appointed Tom Verdi, who's come out of the Providence Police Department. He's got a finance background, to be our director of revenue. I could go down the list of the people that we have been able to get confirmation on in the last session. But I look at this as the first 4-year term, right? The first 2 years was about COVID, open up business, and quite frankly, fighting through probably the most contested campaign in the history of the state of Rhode Island. But, we got through, thanks to the voters in Woonsocket for that. And now we're getting down to business. We're actually in pretty good shape because we still have the Rhode Island 2030 plan, right? The RI 2030. We're amending that right now and updating that. So we were able to walk in truly as in the first day of a 4-year term, on all cylinders, because we had that 22 months, in that transition.
Yeah, well, that certainly, I guess, was an advantage there. But it's interesting. I'm glad the question was asked and answered, because you get one point of view when you hear the news stories come and go and stuff like that. Now, listening to you, I can't imagine running a department as an interim for 10 years. That's longer than some people's careers. And you're and you managed to clean that up.
We were able to get that done, and again, there was a reluctance from some people, especially if they were going to be moving into the state. Ashley Deckett actually came in from Illinois in a very difficult position to fill based on the criteria there. But she's not moving to Rhode Island with a 6 months before an election, right? So, but now with a 4-year term, these people are coming, and they're definitely helping out. Unbelievable. I mean, Director Coyne was fabulous. He just had his last day last week. I think we got a little celebration for him planned. But our positions are pretty much filled. We've got
there's always something going on. I understand that, but we don't have the long list of them.
There's always transition. But like I said, Tom Verdi now is in revenue. Jonathan Warmer, Jim Thorson left as the DOA director. Jonathan Warmer now, who actually was working with the state when I came in, he went to Brown. I think he was happy the way we were doing budgets and he wanted to come back. So that was great to plug him in because he's a really experienced person as a Department of Administration director. So I'm pretty pleased where we are right now. There's just, there's always transition. There's always bumps in the road, but I'm pleased with where we are with the positions that we've been able to fill in the last 6 months.
Well, Dan, rather, we promised to get you out of here before 8:30, but Melissa has a question for you.
Actually, a comment. I wanted to congratulate you on those confirmations. They all went through the Senate. That's why I was surprised to hear people saying that there's a lot of vacancies at the state, because we confirmed a whole lot of really great directors this year. Verdi, Womer, who actually wanted to come back, which is fantastic. And, the Senate Finance Committee has a great relationship with him. Director Brito, Director Charest, who was my constituent, but, now lives in Warwick. But I know him very well, served on the Community Care Alliance Board of Directors with him. So congratulations on those. And we were happy to confirm those folks, and I think we're going to start off the next year really strong with those with that leadership in place.
Super.
Yes, thanks. And then also judges. We were able to confirm 6 judges. I mean, this is a lot of work by the Senate because they got the budgets and they got normal process with statutes, and really, and then so six judges were confirmed, and we were able to put the candidates commission together with you confirming Kim Ahern, who was really an extraordinary AG, and then she was one of my deputy chiefs of staff, very skilled in that area. So you were able to actually confirm the cannabis board, which was, a lot of work as well, and that took some time, but the Senate got through virtually everything we talked about. Ernie Almonte, we appointed Ernie Almonte to be the chair of the convention center. I just met with Ernie this week, and for the first time, Dave, and I think it's pretty interesting, with a little help from the state, but the first time in recent memory that they actually ended up in the black. So we are bringing in really good people. The Senate has been great in terms of like their confirmation.
Yeah, we did a lot of confirmations this year.
Oh my God, there was a lot of work, and you had a lot of. Well, how about Mike Ray, right? Mike Ray, right? For the he's chairing our education board right now. A fantastic appointment that got appointed, and working with David Caprio, who's got the higher ed chair, and now they're working together really strongly. But yeah, think about it, Senator. How many confirmations came through, and that is like, again, that's in the first 4 years, the first 6 months of a 4-year term, when we were able to hit the ground running.
Absolutely.
Have those offers.
Well, unfortunately, we've run out of our allotted time with you, Dan.
Last thing I'll say, David, is they're all in with Woonsocket. That's like my second home. There is money in the budget on multiple things, including when I talked to the mayor about a public safety complex that I know she wants to be building. There's an opportunity to apply for millions of dollars, and I know the senator was working hard on that as well. And we expect that, if everything works well, that the state will be helping with that public safety complex that'll, be in the works over the next couple of years in Woonsocket. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Great.
Very good. Well, thanks so much for spending some time with us, Dan. I hope we can do it again soon. And thanks for all the good news.
Well, there's always challenges, but we can come back and talk about those.
Very good. All right. Yeah, there's challenges in everybody's life.
That's right. Okay.
Take care, Dan.
Thanks, Governor.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Okay, Joe. Thank you.
Bye. Governor Dan McKee joining us here on the Coffee and program. We're going to take another quick little break right here. It's time for a look at the weather forecast, being brought to you by Compassion International.
Cloudy skies today with a high of 76 degrees. There's a 70% chance of showers at midday, only about 1/10 of an inch possible. Tonight, cloudy skies, patchy fog after 1 a.m. We have some showers and thunderstorms, 80% likely overnight, and some storms could produce gusty winds, heavy rain, and frequent lightning. Southeast winds, 68 degrees for an overnight low. 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain is possible overnight. Tuesday's weather, a 70% chance of showers and possibly a thunderstorm with the gusty winds, heavy rain, and frequent lightning. Mostly cloudy, 81 degrees. Between 3/4 of an inch and 1 inch of rain is likely on Tuesday. Wednesday's weather, sunshine and 83. Thursday, partly sunny and 84. Friday, mostly sunny and 84. Saturday, mostly sunny and a high of 84. And on Sunday, partly sunny and 83.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with cloudy skies, we have 70 degrees. Families in poverty are facing a global food crisis. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
Our family caring for your family. The Holiday Retirement Home is a skilled nursing and rehabilitation facility with a home-like atmosphere where laughter is the best medicine. The The Holiday keeps their patients and residents involved in varied activities and events so they have the opportunity to live life to the fullest. The Holiday Retirement Home has their own in-house physical, occupational, and speech therapy staff with more than 300 years of combined experience. Stop in for a tour. The Holiday is right off Route 99 on Sales Hill Road in Manville, and for more information you can visit their website at holidayretirement.com.
Hey, it's ON Radio's Cruisin' Bruce Palmer inviting you to join me for the Saturday Block Party. It's every Saturday from 4 until 7 p.m. when we fill the airwaves with the songs you want to hear. It's a party in every sense of the word, so join me live on 99.5 and 1240 a.m. or bring the show with you wherever you go at onworldwide.com.
And it's Coffee In on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray, and Dave Richards is here as well. Nice to have the governor with us this morning.
Certainly
here on
was.
the Coffee In program. I brought this up to Dave a little earlier this morning, Melissa. I don't know if you heard about this, because it was the big story about a week ago. Of course, I was on vacation, so I couldn't talk about it then. But I don't know. It doesn't seem to have filtered down to Rhode Island, because it's really a mass thing, and it's what happened at the Xfinity Center during the Jason Aldean concert.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a night of terrible rain.
Yep.
And heavy winds
and a
frequent
tornado.
lightning. And a tornado was in Foxborough.
Yes. Yeah.
Tornado at the Foxborough
nearby.
Eastern Line.
Yes. So the Xfinity Center puts out onto their social media, and they have big video screens there. Before Jason even took the stage,
Right.
please evacuate the building
Yep.
and go to your car. That's where you'll be the safest. Now, not everybody arrives in their own car, by the way.
Right.
They come by Uber or Lyft or limousines.
Yeah, a lot of people do that.
And they were told to go to a certain parking lot, although I don't know what was going to happen there. And I thought about this. I said, but the majority of the people are already undercover. Why are we sending them out into the storm? But that's not my call. Anyway, and about a half an hour later, yet another message went out that said, all right, if you haven't left yet, don't. Stay where you are, and everything's going to be fine. However, in that meantime, in the efforts to get people out, the police that were there, as well as quite a few of the workers that were there, were telling the people that were there to see the show that the show was canceled.
Oh, no.
And that's why they had to leave. The show was not canceled.
Right. And there's an issue also, because I went recently, once you leave, you can't get back in. So
Right.
I don't know how they dealt with that.
Well, first of all, the people that left, thinking the show was canceled, now they want their money back. Mm-hmm. And Ticketmaster and Xfinity, they don't want to give their money back. So that's
not.
a real mess there. The other thing was, and then they put out another social message. Okay, Jason's going to take the stage at 10, so come on back in and have your phone ready. They were going to rescan everybody in. Mm-hmm. So that's what they were going to do. They were going to let people
That's
back in, but
another hour and a half.
you had to have your phone out.
Yeah,
to
that takes
rescan
a
it.
while.
And then I heard from people that when they got back in, it was just mayhem inside the amphitheater because people were sitting wherever they felt like it.
Right.
And so it
You've
was
been
just
gone for 3
it was
hours.
just
I've been sitting in your
craziness.
seat for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Now it's my seat.
That's right. So it was just
Yeah, what a mess.
It was real craziness at that stage, and I know the Mansfield Police Chief had to put out some statement. Well, we did our best with the information
right.
we're going to get, and
Right.
Well, people were like, boy, it was mayhem if you were at that particular show. So,
And
and
fortunately,
people were
I
complaining-
was not.
And people were complaining. I spent all this money and never even saw him.
Yeah.
Never even saw Jason Aldean, and that's who we were there to see.
Yep.
And didn't get a chance.
Yeah,
All right.
I went to go see Culture Club, and it was great. And it rained that night pretty heavily, but
Yeah.
I
Were you undercover?
we were all we were under.
No,
Yep.
okay.
And everybody moved, up under, and it was fine.
Well, they had a little issue at that one.
There was no
so-
issues, fortunately.
So we had the news story this morning, and the former professional hockey player from Woonsocket, Brian Berard, who does national broadcast games now.
Yep.
He was arrested down in Newport.
Oh dear.
Now they said it was a bar fight. However, there were no fisticuffs.
No fisticuffs.
There were no
Okay.
punches thrown. But
Okay.
he was arrested, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest.
Oh.
So it makes you. He's going to be arraigned this coming Wednesday. So he got into some kind of verbal altercation with someone who they don't know each other, and you wonder if the other guy even knew this was a hockey player.
Yep. And was the other person arrested as well? Does it say?
It doesn't say. This happened back on July 30th. It doesn't say about the other what happened to the other person. Because it's bigger news with the former hockey player
Of
gets
course,
arrested
yeah.
as opposed to the private citizen over there.
I'm sure the fact that he's a well-known figure is
Yep.
going to carry some weight there with the judge.
It might, and but you just wonder what happened at the bar or at the club that we're at, and they bump into each other, and
People say awful
they get mad
things.
at each other, you
I
maybe
know
spill my
people
drink,
get.
and-
Yeah, I know. Folks get crazy, and when there's alcohol involved,
Yeah.
you
Big
tempers flare and
big tough hockey player, huh?
yeah,
Kinda thing,
egos
so-
and all that other.
Did they drop the gloves? Nobody said that in the news story.
That would have been funny. I don't think he was wearing gloves at this time.
No, I don't think so.
It pull his shirt over his head. That's how they fight. So okay.
The thing is that when
Oh.
the cops came, he didn't cooperate, and
I
that's,
guess
so.
that's what he's really in
He's
jail
probably
for.
saying, "What are you arrested me for? Because nothing happened.
right.
We yelled at each other.
Right.
No, we're taking you away." So anyway.
Well, I mean, certain verbal threats can be taken very seriously. We don't know what was said.
Yep, you're right. Dave mentioned it to the governor, and he had as a news story this morning that Woonsocket received $421,000 award to pave the roads here in the city of Woonsocket. This came out on a Friday, so that's a good thing.
It
and,
is.
The city has been using.
Well, we haven't received it yet.
It's coming.
We're invited to make application for it.
It says award to that the city has been awarded. They're going to receive it.
Okay, am I thinking of the wrong story?
This is that one, the
Can I
press
have
release.
this? Can I have it?
Sure. Here you go.
Right. Thank you. And
So
there's-
yeah,
there's a
we've been
little
doing
more
this
there.
for years, right? In the city, we've been
Paving our roads.
in house.
That's what Steve D'Agostino is in charge of there, and he does.
Right,
He paves
right,
in house. And
right. But now we're going to get
More money.
more money to do it from the
Yeah.
state,
Mm-hmm.
right? To offset that cost,
Yeah.
which hopefully
Oh,
will
I'm thinking of the wrong
accelerate.
story. I remember where she was quoted as saying earlier that we're putting this application in as quickly as possible, get it in ahead of everybody, so that she can get the money. Yeah. Yeah, it says right here in the story. No, so I got it right. I'm going to quote from the news release. Mayor Baldelli Hunt disclosed that she will focus program funding on road repair across the city. She indicated that her administration is working to identify roads in most need of repair and plans to quickly submit the program application to RIDOT.
But if you look at the
So
front,
that some of the awarded funds. Okay, so they awarded the funds,
did award the
but
funds,
they
yeah.
won't give you the money until you show them what you're going
What
to do
you
with
do
it.
with it.
All right, got
Oh,
it.
that
So
makes
I
sense.
misunderstood how that was worded.
all right.
Because she says she's going to get that application in, and so I got the wrong impression from that wording. But I get it now.
So the money's coming. Just tell us how you're going to use it first. And
Right,
then
before
we'll-
we get
Yeah,
it to you.
Before
yeah.
we cut you a check.
Gotcha.
All right.
We want to approve of how you're going to use it.
Okay, so this doesn't really affect any of us here, but it's just it's just amusing because we had everything that went wrong last summer on Block Island with Ballard's Beach Club, and
The ghost
fighting-
of last summer continues.
I know, and they said
Yes.
they said they were going to clean everything up and don't take our liquor license away, and now okay, and now they're being fined $50,000 by the Coastal Resources Management Council of Rhode Island. They're saying the council's saying that they have unauthorized tiki bars and fences on the beach. And they're saying, I don't know, they're not saying anything at the moment.
Right?
I guess they said they were going to take them down or whatever, and maybe they stuck them back up when they thinking no one's going to be looking.
Yeah, if there is, protected lands near there and they encroach upon that, well, the state doesn't like that very much.
So it doesn't say what they're going to do, but right, if they're going to dispute this $50,000 hit, which is pretty high,
It's pretty high.
that they have to
I imagine they
pay
do,
that out.
do quite well though. So, but it's still it's a big fine.
I wonder if they're doing as well as they did last year when they had all their festivals and like that, because they had to stop doing all of that because of what happened last year with the fighting and the rioting and the
Yeah.
crazy people on the ferry and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
We're not
I mean,
seeing
to
that
be-
this year.
Yeah, no.
Well, they
and-
stopped it all. They couldn't have it anyway.
Right.
So okay.
Right, and you had to, you're chip certified for a reason. You know, that's to recognize that when people have been overserved. And I know people bring their own alcohol and then they continue to drink, and you can't control
you can drink on the
that.
ferry.
Yeah.
Last I knew you could.
Yeah. Right. So.
All right. So they're in their troubles continue. I'm gonna have to get a hold of it. Dave and I have a mutual friend that lives on Block Island. We'll have to see if Holland can get us the update on what's going on.
The inside scoop.
The inside scoop. What's really going on at Ballards? All right. And then over the weekend, a man being treated for burns at Rhode Island Hospital. His boat exploded.
Yeah, that was an awful
in North
story.
Kingstown, and the only thing I can think of, it's dark. It's after the sun's going down. Is he smoking? Is there gasoline spilling out somewhere, or propane?
Yeah, right.
I mean, things just don't spontaneously
Yeah,
explode.
that was really tragic.
A pump left on.
There you
can
go.
Overheat.
Yep.
Oh.
Burn wiring and cause a fire. There's so many things.
But cause an explosion?
Yeah.
Right. This is not a sunfish sailboat. This
No.
is, This has got a motor, an electrical system, and all kinds of different cabins. So this thing, there's lots of opportunities for something to go wrong for the operator who misses something on the checklist, or maybe there's a switch that isn't working.
No, it didn't blow up in the water or in the
No.
marina. It's in the parking lot. So
Right.
it sounds like he's taking the boat out of the water,
Right.
on the trailer, starting to drive away.
And that's why I thought of a pump motor right away,
Yeah.
because you take the boat out of the water. Now there's no more. These pumps, they use the water to cool themselves off, and also to add some ballast to their spinning. And so if you take it out, then they don't have any. What's the word I wanted to use? Any kind of work to do, because air does not have the viscosity of water. Plus, they don't have the cooling down effect of the water.
And it just makes you wonder if he's out of his vehicle, checking the boat to make sure it's secure to the trailer.
Sure.
When it exploded,
Yeah.
because that's where you get the burns from. So, no word on his condition yet or how severe the burns are, but that's it's not something you don't want to see.
Yeah, a burn is very painful, really bad. Hopefully, speedy recovery.
All right, break time here once again on the Coffee and program. More coming up, and comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
Remote car starters are great to have in the summertime. They can cool off the inside of your car when the sun is blazing. Stop by Inferno Audio on Clinton Street in Woonsocket and speak to Keith about how easy it is to have a remote car starter installed in your vehicle. Now, if your air conditioner isn't working in your car, no problemo. Inferno Audio can make it work. So don't drive around with a hot car burning your fingertips. That's not safe. Plus, they can make car keys for any make or model of vehicle, and the price will be far less than the dealership would tell you. Stop in today and see Keith at Inferno Audio, 160 Clinton Street, Woonsocket, just next to KFC.
I'm Dr. Philip Chan from the Rhode Island Department of Health. Many Rhode Islanders have hepatitis C, but don't know it. Hep C often has no symptoms, but it can cause serious health problems if it's left untreated. The CDC now recommends that all adults get tested for hepatitis C. So talk to your doctor or get tested on your time by visiting testing123ri.com and get checked for Hep C today. Visit health.ri.gov/Hep C for more information.
Brought to you by the Rhode Island Department of Health and Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Hello, I'm Monique Charette Weekly, calling all classmates of Woonsocket High School class of 1978. Come help us celebrate our 45th reunion at Bella's Restaurant, Friday, September 15th from 5 to 10. Looking forward to sharing memories and making new ones. Please call Linda at 401-766-3134. Also our Facebook page at Woonsocket High School, class of 1978. Hope to see you there.
It is Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray and Dave Richards. Well,
hi there.
They stuck it out and they won. There were 7 Massachusetts State Police troopers who refused to get vaccinated for the COVID-19 virus, and they said because of their sincerely held religious beliefs, and that now an arbitrator has ruled that they must be put back in,
reinstated,
and get all their money back. They were suspended without pay.
Wow.
So,
well, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, for 7 of them. Give them I'll give them all their back pay.
Because of their
Going back, like,
fiercely held religious.
No, it says sincerely.
Sincerely.
Not fiercely. I don't know what the
Well,
difference is.
probably fiercely too.
Sincerely
But
held religious
sincerely held religious beliefs. And so I just have an issue with this.
It's Jehovah Witnesses, right? That don't take, or is it Christian Scientists? Christian Scientists.
Christian
Well, there's
Scientists.
there's a bunch of them.
take any kind of
Baptists
medicine.
were very much against this, if you
Yeah.
recall.
Yes.
Okay,
But
so
why not other vaccinations, right? Why just this one? You know, because this whole thing was so political. The vaccine got politicized. The virus got politicized, in my opinion, because of who happened to be in office at the time. And people were saying, well, this is against my, religious beliefs. But yet we're getting vaccinated and had been vaccinated their entire lives for all of these other illnesses and diseases that we've eradicated.
Well, I could say that to be devil's advocate, they could say, well, we were kids then, our parents made our choice for that.
Okay.
When we became adults.
So they've never gotten another vaccine
I don't
or
know.
inoculation in their adult lifetime. I find that
know.
very hard to believe, but at any rate,
Okay. Well, they
big
get their
award,
jobs back.
big award, right?
They
Yeah.
get their jobs back,
Get the jobs
and
back.
they get their money back. So
Yep.
there you go. I don't know if you brought this up last week, Dave, but Taylor Swift's the money that she's making on this latest tour is unbelievable. And did you hear that she is giving all her truck drivers?
Oh yeah,
$100,000.
It's natural to give the grunt workers a tip at the end of the tour if they were with you the whole time and the service was exact. It's just like if you went on a cruise, you would give your room steward and the purser and stuff like that tips. Yeah.
So other big name acts do this for their road crew people.
It's pretty well known. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, sometimes it's in the smaller acts. It might be like a party or something like that. You throw a dinner party at a restaurant, buy everybody a meal, but with the kind of figures you're talking about here with Taylor Swift, she just hauled off and gave everybody big checks.
Yeah.
Time away from their family. Yeah, I mean that's nice. Good.
Okay.
If you can do it, you should do it.
Yep. And she'll be back in the United States in the fall after she's going to go to Europe to make more money, and South America too, Latin America, Asia, Australia, Europe, and then she comes back and hits some other states, other places here in the United States to just make more. And
Just keep making the money.
Dave, I don't know. You know who I saw who said good things about Taylor Swift?
Who?
Little surprised. Paul Stanley from Kiss brought his kids, just as a father. Didn't dress up, didn't do it. He wasn't part of the act or anything like that. Just brought his kids, and he said, "Wow, what a performer she is! Completely different than what he does when he's on stage." But he's like, "She's something."
Yeah, she puts on a long performance every single night.
So
how many songs? Like 30 something.
30 plus 3.5 hours. Yep,
it's a lot.
All right, things you don't want to do. A man is recovering after he fell into the safety enclosure at the Columbus Zoo.
Oh.
He was near the watering hole section of the Heart of Africa exhibit.
Oh,
and he fell 12 to 15 feet into a space between the outside exhibit wall and a safety barricade during one of the zoo's cheetah run presentations. Not good. You're not going to outrun a cheetah.
No, you never will.
A female cheetah did notice the man, but stayed with her trainer, according to the zoo. First responders say he was alert when they arrived and did not appear to have any serious injuries. And they were able to get him out without any further any run-ins with the cheetahs.
Happy endings.
Yeah, they have to build those fences a little higher now because folks just can't seem to stay out.
I know. And that,
or they just lean too far over. Or
but you try to get that good selfie with the cheetah in the background, and you lean, and then you tumble over. Oops is right. So it was for all the Red Sox fans over the weekend. It was a very distressing weekend.
Had a chance to leapfrog out of last place
and going to first place for the wild card.
Yeah.
and lost all 3 games and now 5 games back.
But that's not the real problem.
No, there's a lot of problems there.
The problem is they played like little leaguers all weekend, according to Lou Mandeville.
They did. And,
That's harsh.
And then they had to bench one of their players because he didn't show up to the ballpark on time. And he didn't say, oh, the traffic was bad or anything like that. Well, I'm here. I got here when I felt like getting here. And it drove Cora nuts, so he benched him.
Well, that's
And I
not
can
a
see
winning
that.
attitude, is it?
No, it's terrible. I'm like, oh, no. And then they had a play. They could have won the game on Saturday. And there was with only one out, there was a fly ball to left center field. And the guy in second is rounding third. And the third base coach is sending him in. Run, run, run. The ball was caught. And it was a double play at second base. I'm like, okay, the runner is, as you're taught as when you're playing baseball, listen to the coach.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see behind you what's going on. He's looking at that. You follow his instructions. I don't know what he was thinking, because he thought it was going to be a home run, and just the stunned silence at Fenway Park was deafening. By the way. All right.
Well,
what is
people
this
make
guy
mistakes
doing?
on the job.
That was huge, and I turned to my son. I said, "That's why we need the big mental error in the scorebook. There isn't a place for one of those, just for the physical errors. So big mental error." All right. Not only are there people trying to get across the border at Texas from Mexico, the Texas Border Patrol says they caught someone trying to smuggle a backpack full of monkeys into the country. Agents in Brownsville, Texas, which is right on the border, said Thursday that someone tried to sneak 7 South American spider monkeys across the border. Those are pretty tiny monkeys at Fort Brown by hiding them inside a backpack. Monkeys make noise. How do you think you're going to get away with this? The agency called spider monkeys, quote, critically endangered animals, unquote, said the owner of the backpack has been arrested on suspected wildlife smuggling.
Good.
And the monkeys have been turned over to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife for relocation, wherever they need to go and like that. But
before this whole big thing with immigrants, they watched the borders for importation of things. On the one hand, of course, there's supposed to be taxes and duties paid. On the other hand, I recall coming back from a weekend in Montreal one time, and where we were staying, they had a continental breakfast available, and I just grabbed an apple for the trip home. Did not have a government stamp for the United States, and at the border,
throw it out.
4 hours later, because it was so slow. Yeah, they saw it. I showed them
fruit.
everything. And there's the apple right there. Took it and maliciously threw it into a metal barrel right there. It says, you cannot bring that into the United States. I said, I don't understand. They said, it's produce. I said, well, okay,
No
it was for me to eat on the way home. He said, you should have ate it before you got here.
Mm-hmm.
And,
did you fish it out of the barrel? I'll eat it right now.
No.
I'm still
Can I eat it right in front
the
of
way
you?
he put it in the barrel, it had to have been mushed.
Oh, all right.
Because it was like viciously tossed into that
Yeah, they
barrel.
don't like you putting fruits and veggies across the border either way.
So anyway, he says, you know that little sticker that they have on the apples? He says, this one didn't have it. So it shows that
because you take it off because I'm going to eat it.
No, because I was coming from Canada.
Yeah.
I didn't lie to the guy. No,
Right.
I didn't even know about the stickers. I saw them. I didn't give it any thought. But this one didn't have one, and I didn't realize it. And it came from Canada and wasn't passed by USDA.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. But at least in the airports, TSA, if you're coming through with a bottle of water, they'll actually say, either throw it out or drink it right now.
Yeah.
And then throw the bottle away.
Right.
So they should have given you a choice. Although, watching you try to eat an apple quickly would have been funny.
How fast can you eat an apple?
Yeah.
Not this guy.
Wow, it was just...
The last few times...
Custom agents, I guess, are different than TSA agents.
Well, when we go up to Montreal, Joe, by car, Highgate Springs is the favored entry point. And the people at Highgate Springs, I mean, the traffic just back... You can go into Canada anytime you want. And aside from one time when I was helping a friend bring a busload of guys up for a hockey trip where we got scrutinized fairly well, and one guy wasn't allowed in. Coming back with my family has never been a big issue, but it's getting like the lines are wicked long. I mean, you leave at 9 in the morning. It's a 6-hour ride. You figure you get home for 3. At 2 o'clock, you're at the border. You've been waiting for 2.5 hours to get to the place where they can abuse you. And then they do. I mean, nobody gets disappointed here. The U.S. Customs and Border Patrol, they are tight, and they are just not friendly folks.
When you do get through, when you get over to the border and you come back into the United States, is there a gas station right there waiting for you?
No.
But that would be a perfect place for like a Cumberland Farms.
A fruit stand.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a fruit stand,
there's a
a
souvenir shop. You can get something.
But if you're in line for so long, obviously you shut your car off.
Of course.
But you think people would need gas?
Yeah.
For being in line for so long.
Yeah, could be.
A produce stand. I like that.
I don't recall there being a gas station there, but there's always a duty free or a souvenir shop or something like that on both sides of the border. And technically, for those who haven't gone over the border in quite some time, you are actually over the border before they inspect you by a few hundred yards. On both ends. You actually do cross into the legal border, cross over that imaginary line before they actually stop you and inspect you. So you're completely in their control.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got to wrap it up, but I just wanted to bring this up in case you have a cool $4 million sitting around doing nothing.
Sure.
The Los Angeles Lakers jersey, worn by Wilt Chamberlain, is going up for auction later this month. Sotheby's officials believe the home gold uniform worn by the late NBA legend will sell for about $4 million.
Wow.
He wore the jersey during Game 5 of the 1972 NBA Finals between the Lakers and the Knicks. That was the night the Lakers clinched their first championship since they moved to Los Angeles in 1959. The bids, it will go up for bid online beginning from August 28th to September 27th. So you might get it in for a cool $1 million if no one else bids on it.
Yeah. If I had that much money, I don't think
that
I would use it to bid on a sports jersey.
Somebody will buy it.
Yeah. I'm sure folks have too much money. They don't know what to do with. But
no. I mean, they have different priorities for spending their money. That's all.
Sure,
we would think it frivolous. They look at it and say,
it is an investment.
That's a wise investment.
That's something
sure,
for
Yeah, or I just want that. Right?
That's right. Or I just want it.
Yeah,
I got the money. I want it. This is America. I'm going to buy it.
Sure.
All right. That'll do it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Thanks to Governor Dan McKee, who joined us earlier today on the Coffee and program. Melissa Murray, thanks for coming in as well.
Thank you for having me. Happy Monday.
All right. Dave Richards, thanks for being here as well.
Ditto.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Stay tuned for Leslie Page at the Libraries coming up, followed by Food First and Karen Zangari. Don't forget Tiki Bar tonight at 6 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. 2 hospitals in Rhode Island are being impacted by a cyber